Hello, my name is Mark Clements and today I'd like to talk about ports and cybersecurity risk reduction in a business context. The objectives for today are to comprehend the reality of cybersecurity attacks on businesses in the UK, to understand the importance of regular penetration testing to reduce attack vectors, to understand the function of computer data ports and their vulnerabilities, and to know of suitable computer tools to carry out a host scan, and then we'll analyse the results in our seminar later. The vulnerabilities of business IT system consists of the computers and the users of those computers in our organisation. According to PricewaterhouseCoopers, in 2017, employees were responsible for 27% of all cybersecurity incidents, up from 20% in 2016. And less than half of UK businesses conduct penetration tests to examine their network defences. The consequences of a cyber attack can be rather severe. The 2018 General Data Protection Regulation will impose fines greater than the DPA for data breaches, up from £500,000 to £20 million. The average recovery time for a business after an attack is 19 hours and may lead to loss of sales and customers, heavy fines and loss of reputation. Traditional security methods, maybe those involved in defending a castle, include keeping an outer perimeter with a single entry point. This would house a large marketplace for visitors and trade, and then there will be an inner perimeter to protect the castle owners and their assets. And the key to this was managing the entry points to the castle. And today's IT still does just this, but instead of with people, with data. Here we have a diagram of a traditional medieval castle. You can see an outer perimeter, which would be very difficult to climb over, with one entry point. Today we will put a firewall and a router at this entry point. We would then create inside this a demilitarised zone. Inside the demilitarised zone we will put our public access servers such as a web server. Inside this we would keep a second perimeter, and this perimeter would have one entry point, again with a firewall and a router at that point. Within this we would keep our server, and that server may contain our transaction details and our customer details, those things that we don't want to lose or have made public. This will perhaps be controlled also by an application proxy. So to get in, we would have to pass this point and this point, so long as the rest of the perimeter is secure. The methodology for IT security is to reduce the number of attack vectors. We can employ physical security to create that perimeter, fences, security guards, card entry points, etc. We want to harden our personnel, which isn't so easy because social engineering can easily circumvent all of our hard implemented security. Device hardening is where we would look at our computers and close unnecessary ports, deploy antivirus software, disable or remove unwanted software and services, remove unused logins, and enforce strong passwords, etc. The data communication ports are data entry and exit ports on the computer, and they're controlled by a daemon or server. The web server uses port 80, that's the HTTP protocol, and the secure HTTP protocol uses port 443. Now these ports we could liken to doors, windows, letterboxes, chimneys, cat flaps in a house, and they allow people or other items to enter and leave the house. But not all ports are associated with secure access, especially those used in the early days of computing. There are many port insecurities. Amongst those, Telnet. Telnet sends the username, password and commands as plain text. And FTP, file transfer protocol, is similarly insecure. So anyone armed with network traffic sniffing software such as Wireshark could view network traffic on your network, find the usernames and passwords, and gain access to either of these ports. Once in, A clever exploit on a buffer overflow could result in full control of that host. Penetration testing, otherwise known as pen testing, takes a proactive approach to network security and establishes a baseline. This allows us to review the security of hosts on the network. We can check for attack vectors that could be exploited to gain access to a network host. Now, pen testing can be outsourced to an external company, or it could be carried out in-house. A typical penetration test starts with planning the scope of the assessment and defining the rules of engagement, what we're going to scan, where we're going to scan it from, and when the scan is going to take place. This is followed by the actual network scanning of computer systems and the networks. Next, we'd carry out network vulnerability assessments to see what could be a problem on our network and test those items. We'd want to assess password policies and their implementation, and then finally we would try to gain access to the host systems without permission. Finally, we'll write the penetration testing report for the customer. With a pen test, the first step is going to be case the join. And this might be action to the action of a burglar who would check their target for open doors, windows and other entry points before the actual attempt to break in. With a pen test, following permission to proceed, we scan the network for live hosts and then scan for any open ports on each host. Port scanning software is readily available, and ZenMap, an offspring of Nmap, is a popular and free open source port scanner. It can be run on Windows or Linux platforms, from the command line or in a GUI. And this allows a wide range of scans to be performed against network hosts. And we will use ZenMap to run an intent scan against a network host. Here we have ZenMap running in a windowed environment, and you can see we've typed in a target's IP address here, and we've chosen from the drop down box here an intent scan. We could also run this from the command line with nmap -t4 -a -v followed by the IP address of the host. Once we've got this information in, we can hit scan. Some of these scans will take some time, some of them are a lot shorter. This one here took 37 seconds, and we can see we've got logged here the date of the scan. The results of the scan appear down below. I've got some partial scan results here for us to have a short look at, and you can see this was from a SYN stealth scan. You can see the time it took place and the machine that we were scanning followed by its IP address, and you'll note that we've managed to find 4 open ports: 143, 22, 21 and 23. Analysis of what these open ports actually mean will take place during the seminar which follows today's lecture. Remember, ZenMap is free and open source software, so any competitor or agent seeking to attack your business could also perform these scans. So, in summary, attacks against businesses are common, and the penalties for data loss will rise dramatically next year. Penetration testing can find some of those weaknesses in network hosts, such as vulnerable ports, which will allow us to do something about them, either close them or to secure them in another manner. The initial part of a pen test can be carried out using ZenMap, and we will analyse the results found in our seminar after this lecture. Thank you for your time.